Hey, Mom Lawrence. Could we get them lights? I'm gonna go like, we need to get them lights. I forgot. Yeah.
I know it didn't. I'm glad you were watching. Because then I put it back on.
Oh, yeah, yeah, turn that, yeah. Put, it's on, put it on F1.
I'm just joking. Yeah.
We thank you all for your patience. And we want to begin this Sunday's United Talim with the Ifribah Cultural Islamic Center and Masjid Al Taqwa. And we thank Imam Omar and the Ifribah Islamic Center for their quick response so that we could be in person. We know virtual is always it's always an option, but it's so much better when we can be in space together. So I'm going to thank you for that, Imam Omar and Baha Center staff. So we want to begin with Surah Fatiha. Then we'll get into some opening remarks and then our discussion today. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. I want to also recognize the Talim Committee for Masjid Al Taqwa, chaired by Dr. Aisha Amin. Members are Dr. Gloria Bashir and Dr. Lionel Alice Jr. For their work. And we're going to do a bit of a joint plug since this is a united Talim. Just as you can find all of Masjid Al Taqwa's former previous khutbahs and Talims and other events on our YouTube channel, Masjid Al Taqwa Chicago. I'm most certain that Baha Center, your YouTube channel is what?
Ifram Bahar.
Ifram Bahar. All right, so you can go both of those places and find previous khutbahs, talims, and other sorts of programming. I want to first make space for invite my brother Imam, Imam Omar to share a few remarks before we begin, inshallah.
Okay, everything is recorded.
Dear believers, Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Again, this is beautiful. Every time we are able to get together, it's beautiful. It's uplifting for our spirit, and it makes a connection. They said that when a group of us is all together like this, they said the heart beats the same. All of our heart rhythm right now, they're saying that this is medical history. They say our heartbeats right now is in sync, you know? So that lets us know if our heart is in sync, you know, our souls have to be in sync. And, you know, I want to say this here, that for us to have strong iman, we have to have an association with our community. We can't just have a Friday association and that's it. What happens, and whether you realize it or not, the more that you stay away from the community of believers, the more that you find your iman begins to slip. But it begins to slip by degrees. You don't even see it, you know? But realizing if you want to keep strong in your faith, if you want to stay strong in your deen, you have to be with those who believe just like you believe. You have to build and have an association, a friendship, a relationship with those people like you, you know? Don't be an introvert like me. You know, we had to talk about that last night, and everybody looked at me and said, "You ain't nowhere near introverted." But I am an introvert. Really, I am, you know, but I don't know when I'm out, I'm able to project myself, you know, when I'm out, you know. but I prefer to be amongst people like me because you all uplift my spirit and increase my iman. So I know if you do that for me, the same thing has to be with you, you know? And, it's a lot that's going on in the world. And we have to realize that what's going on in the world today is not new. It happened in the past, in many pasts, in many cultures, in many history, but one we can relate to during the time of our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when the Quraysh was warring against the Muslims. And this warring was going on in many, many ways until it turned violent, where they decided that they was going to start killing Muslims, So Allah is in control of everything. And we have to realize that whatever is going on in the world, that we see that's going on in the world, no matter how bad it looks, no matter how evil it looks, everything has a destiny, everything has a cause, everything has a reason. Just think about a volcano. During the time of the Thamud people, no, not Thamud, the volcanic, the eruption. No, the people, the culture that was Pompeii. Thank you. That's all right. Pompeii. Pompeii culture was destroyed by a volcano. All right, that was bad. That was bad, right, for that culture. But if you go over there and look where that volcano get destroyed, did all that destruction, it looks so beautiful now. The luscious green, the greenery of the landscape and everything, it is beautiful. So what I'm saying is that Allah has a plan, and we don't know what the plan is, but we have to realize that Allah is in control of everything that's going on, and realize that there is evil in the world, but not an evil that's created by Allah, but an evil that is practiced by man. It's a surah, it says, Kul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq min sharri ma khalaq. It says that the evil that he has created. I mean, the evil that he of created things. The evil of created things. Now, that is not saying that Allah created evil things, but in what Allah has created, man has turned and used those things for evil. All right. Example, the atomic bomb. That was not what the original creation was. The original creation of the scientists, he wanted to find an energy alternative for humanity. Then the military found that you could use it for a bomb, and they took something that was used for good and turned it into evil, and other natural things that we can do. So we have to realize that what we see that's going on in this world right now, the evils that's going on in this world, that we do have evil that's in this world. And we have to stand up against it. Faith people, community, faith-minded people, we have to stand up against it. We have to keep our trust and our faith in Allah, that Allah is in control. And our hearts go out and our prayers go out to the Palestinian community. Our prayers go out to the Sudanese people. Our prayers go out to our Iranian people. And our prayers go out to the Muslim Ummah that asks them to wake the heck up. Because every base that America has in a Muslim country is a providence of America. Just like the Roman Empire back in the past. So we got to wake up. Allah says, do not take the enemies to be your protectors. So it's a lot that we have to answer for, that this Ummah has to answer for. And I think the strength that I see in the Iranian people to stand up and say, we are not going to accept this. I would rather die. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when they was going to battle, they said that you're about to face a group of people who love death more than you love life. Now I know some of us are afraid of dying, but you have to realize the day that you was born, the day that you was destined to die. How are you going to leave this world? As a coward or as a victorious person who tried to establish the best life that you can, try to do the best that you can for humanity and for yourself and for your family? Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you, Imam Omar. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, salatu wassalam ala Rasulillah. Actually, what Imam Omar just gave us was sufficient. No, it was sufficient. And there's no way that I could actually model what I'm talking about without talking about it. And what I mean by that is sometimes when you feel like you have something to say, you value your word more than the message. Right? You value your voice more than the message. Somebody gives the message. You don't have to give the same message. Right? You don't have to. The point is the message. That's the point. So he gave, matter of fact, I believe, and I know this to be true, when you spoke about the heartbeat and how when we come together, we sync up. When one of us has an idea, you better believe that there are others who have the same idea. Right? There's no novelty, right? It's only the person who is fed by their own ego who believes that somehow, eureka, I have got it. Just me. No, that's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. As a matter of fact, if that was the way it did work, then when prophets came, then they would find nobody receptive to what they had to say. The people are always looking for somebody to articulate what is within them, what is inarticulable. Yes, we will go with inarticulable. So, the topic, the focus of today's conversation is directly rooted in what Imam Omar just gave us. And the theme is ascension for service. Ascension for service. And the first example that comes to mind when we think about this idea of ascending for service, we think of what prophet? Well, there's actually two, right? It's two prophets, but one in particular, I'm not going to make this easy for you. Yes, Musa, right? Because when we think about the Mi'raj, we could think about that as well. But Prophet Musa, alayhi salam, right? He left, he went ahead of his people, right? Ascended, went up the mountain, right? In elevated space to convene with his Lord. And he comes back with what? He comes back with law for the people. So his ascension was, and it was not from the perspective of ruling over people, right? As a Malik, because Allah does not say that he was going to create a Malik. He said he was creating a what? A Khalifa. And there's a very important difference in the way that both of these authorities are rooted. The authority of the king or the ruler is one where he often does not feel that he is responsible to anybody but himself. His accountability is to his own comfort. His accountability is to making sure that the lineage or the power remains within his bloodline or the group of his choosing. And we've seen the corruption of that throughout the world. As a matter of fact, when we get to the Umayyad and the Abbasid portions of Islamic history, we see well-intended, good intentions, but we see a corruption into the Ummah. Because it became about this dynastic type of thinking, a dynastic type of authority. And that's not what the Khalifa is. The Khalifa is a successive authority. It's not rooted in just one person. It is an authority that is rooted in community. When you really understand what this is. So I want to bring this into our context. We have been, as a community who has had a strange relationship with education. At the outset, we were a community who did not trust people with letters behind their name. We believe that anybody who wanted to come up and tell you, you know, I'm a bachelor's or master's or doctor's, whatever. We had like acronyms, different sayings for those degrees, and none of them had to do with an expectation of service. None of them had anything to do with an expectation of accountability or being part of a community. It said these people have these things for their own elevation, for their own benefit. So it's taken a long time for us to get to a point where we could appreciate education, we could appreciate the attainment of knowledge and see it as exactly what it is. It is ascension for service. And as our Imam, Wafdi Muhammad or Rahimahullah, who sensitized us in a way where we were able to get away from that first experience model of seeing education in that form. Right? Where people say, I don't need to know what you're talking about. I don't need to know that. All I need to know is what the Imam said. All I need to know is what's in the book. I don't have to worry about none of that stuff. So we've come a long way, right? We've come a long way, but we are not where we have to go yet.
Right.
By any means. When I first, personally, I guess I go back and I think about this, I've talked to Imam Zaki from time to time. We mentioned, you know, how we got our start in this profession of service, of community service. And that was under the tutelage of Imam Sultan Salahuddin. And I asked that Allah give him, he's still with us, but that he has a share of any good that I am able to do personally, and I'm gonna take some of your good too, that Imam Zaki is able to do, right? That he has a share in that. Mm-hmm. Because one of the things that he told us, he said to qualify yourself. That you want to get up and you want to lead, you want to talk, you just can't be a talking head. You got to qualify yourself. Mm-hmm. So right now, while myself, Imam Rushdan, who was with us, my brother, we just finished those 3 years at Bayan, our doctoral studies, Imam Suleiman Hamid of Atlanta, and Imam Tawheed Rashad of Detroit. And I'm also going to include my brother Imam Omar, who is in the Islamic Leadership Development Program. It's the Islamic Leadership Development and Training.
Yes.
Right. And this is a program of our own making. Mm-hmm. Right, that has come out of our own community. Imam Dr. Bashir Ali, Imam Mubashir Gupta, Salahuddin Muhammad, and many others, right, who have come together and put together a program that preserves the narrative of our history, right? The not just the language of methodology of teaching, of using Quran and Sunnah as a way to engage with the time that we are in right now. So I don't want people to think it is just as valuable as the Bayan program, as TISA, as any of these seminaries out there, Yaqeen. As a matter of fact, I would say it's probably more valuable. I would say that it's probably more valuable. The only thing that, and what will be coming forward, inshallah, is at a point it'll be credentialed, right? Mm-hmm. So that it's not just valuable to us, it's valuable. We can go out to the world with it.
That's right.
And say, look, yeah, I have these credentials from this institution that our community has birthed.
That's right.
But I mentioned all of these. I mentioned these and their sisters as well. Right? I was at the graduation last year at Time to Be Grateful. And there were, I think, at least maybe 3 or 4 sisters that were in the graduation for the leadership development program. ascension for service, not for individual accolades, not to position yourself as being over anybody. As a matter of fact, what we understand is the more you have, the more is expected of you. And that's why you walk up to some people and they say, look, I ain't got nothing for you. I don't have it. I don't know nothing. I don't want to know nothing. I don't want to be responsible for nobody. I don't want to have to answer the phone calls. I don't have to solve no problems. I don't know nothing. I don't have nothing. Because innately they understand that when you have resources, you have to do what? Allah says you have to, those who believe, who really believe, they spend in the way of Allah, out of what Allah has given to them. So there's no shortcut around it. So we're at a time right now where a lot of what Imam Omar spoke about, the manufactured evils that exist in society, we have a required response to. There's a response that is required of us. We have been sensitized. We have been prepared for Allah's service. And as we elevate in different ways, and some of us, we may go through particular, structured programs, and some of us may spend our own individual time in study, right? And I didn't mention Imam Rabbani Mubashir, who completed his studies at American Islamic College, right? Mm-hmm. Continues to be of service. Nobody has pressed the time out button for you at all. Nobody. He's consistently of service, consistently showing up, consistently sharing and teaching. Mm. That is the expectation, right? Elevation, it requires service. Other than that, you just a big dummy. You're just a big dummy. You got something, but you've not done anything with it. So I want to connect 2 or 3 things. One is when we talk about the language of Imam Muhammad, when we talk about his language, we got to be very careful about separating language from behavior, right? Imam, and I didn't have a personal relationship. I'm not, a lot of people, they will tell you, alhamdulillah, you did, it's beautiful, right? He was my teacher in 7th grade or something like that. Yeah. And he didn't really have anything flattering to say about me. I have the report card, It was like, he needs to spend more time studying instead of talking. So I guess I've always been talking. Yeah, because I think I gave him some flack, He told me, what did he tell me? I was doing what I do. I was talking. And he said, I don't want to see you sitting in that seat tomorrow. I don't know. I don't consider myself to be a particularly brave child. But I said, hey, what's going to happen if I'm here? He just looked at me and he said, find out. Yeah. And that comeback, he didn't raise his voice. He didn't raise his voice at all. But he looked at me, he said, find out. I didn't want to find out. Right? I don't want to find out. So I don't think I was sitting there the next day. But what I always remember of him, there are things that stood out to me. The things that stood out to me was running into him, our family, Evergreen Plaza, the movie theater there. Coming out of Purple Rain, right? And there are things that I would find out as time, went on. He was an avid movie goer. He enjoyed, comedies and silly stuff, right? And of course, everybody knows that he was one of the things, the job that he had was a welder, right? Somebody who worked, with his hands. And if you read part of the book, Treasure Under the Wall, I believe it's mentioned in there, where he talks about, he says that he would have been happy just doing that. He would have been happy just doing that. I should say, unfortunately, fortunately for us, And maybe in some way unfortunate for him, right? That's a sacrifice. Elevation, the expectation of service means that he had to give up a life that he would have been much more content with, just as a regular person. So I always saw him as a regular person. I always had the deepest respect for his intellect and his insight and his leadership. But I never saw him as anything other than what Allah says, the prophet to tell them, say, Ana basharun mithlukum. I am a mortal human being like yourselves. I'm a mortal human being. So this is the first thing. When I mention this, I'm attaching this to language. When you attach language to somebody that you don't believe to be a mortal human being, somehow to be otherworldly, then you really can't relate to their language. You can't relate to that. And what he was asking us to do as regular people was to take responsibility for ourselves, but to qualify ourselves for that responsibility and to do it in a way that takes into consideration the history that we have, but also the divine destiny and the divine purpose that Allah has given to us. So when the Imam says that we are a new people, I've said this before, I feel like we need to keep stressing this. When he says that we're a new people, yes, and he talks about New Africa, right? It's the idea of a New Africa. Some of us got stuck on just the idea of a location, a historical tie to a place that we consider to be all Black.
Right.
Instead of seeing it as the source of humanity, the birthplace of humanity, right? This is where the common root of every human being, it begins in Africa. And sure, it had some other names before that. It was called something else, but it begins in that space. So thinking of it in that regard, when we say we have a new Africa, we have to establish new Africa. Thinking about intersection, thinking about this origin that we all share and the divine purpose as Khalifa, I believe he was pointing us, because of how we have been sensitized, because of what we have gone through, and because we're people who can engage religious knowledge and not be all twisted up, entertaining it. We can go from reciting we can talk about, tafsir, Quran, bil Quran, right? We can give you some Arabic. We can, we have people who have studied, but can still talk to you about what's on the news. Still talk to you in a regular sense, that are not stuck on high horses. So this new people that he is talking to us about, this new Africa, at this particular time, we have an opening. We have an opportunity to actually take the leadership role in building this new people. Right? Building a new people that is not confined to the construct of race, which is not something that Allah puts on us. He allows us to recognize who we are in our own cultural differences, right? He allows us to the freedom for us to associate based on those the similarities that we have, and if it happens to be where they're phenotypical, skin color or whatever, whatever. But that's not the basis of our association. And when that becomes how we lead and how we organize ourselves, what it actually does, it gives freedom to other people to join into that, who don't look like you, who have different experiences. And that's the real new Africa. That's the real new people. So we're the new people that got here. We were different tribes and all that. We didn't speak the same language. We were at war with one another before we got here. Some of us may have sold others out to get here. But when we got here, we found out all of those divisions meant nothing. They meant nothing. So we had to have some solidarity. So I gave all of that to talk to you about. There's an initiative that we are a part of, that we're embarking on. And I would have talked to you about this earlier. Somebody may have talked to you about it already, but I would have talked about this earlier. But the past, getting to this finish line for this program was it was a little bit of a nightmare, you know. It was rocky. Um, for everybody but Imam Rushdie. He, he got his stuff in before he was the first, like the first one amongst our group. No, but we all had our challenges, and it's not worth anything if there's not a challenge. So I'm love for that. But that said, there is an initiative around it's an interfaith initiative, and they've been using the name faith over fear. I don't know if anybody's familiar. If you've heard this term, faith over fear. So I participated in a few different events. You know, they've had some rallies. Um, yeah, you know, folks get together, a bunch of different, just everybody is there, right? So, but the purpose behind this is to, and well, let me give you some of the people who are involved from our association, right? Because I want to qualify this with not just a slogan, but those who are invested, taking leadership roles in this. So everybody knows who Imam Safir Rabi is, right? His hands in a lot of different spaces. He's done a lot behind the scenes. As a matter of fact, he's the chair of Bayan Islamic Graduate School. He's directly responsible for all of us in terms of the Muhammad Ali Scholarship, being able to put the effort forth to finish that program. Right, he's the one who's opened up those doors. He's not somebody who's going to run around and beating his chest and talking about it. Right, but he has a very important and a strategic leadership role at that institution. So he plays a huge role in sustaining that organization, that institution. We also have Imam Makram Elami from Masjid An-Nur in Minneapolis, who also graduated, received his Master's of Divinity, Islamic chaplaincy. And he started El Maun, I think it's El Maun Community Services, but they're doing some phenomenal things in terms of tapping into existing federal resources to feed their community. So they have a staff, I think, of about, I don't know, I think the staff is about maybe 50 people right now, right? And they're serving about 200 meals a week, the Meals on Wheels. And that's just one program. Then they have other programs as well that they're running. And then there is Dr. Rami Nashashidi, which everybody knows from Iman. So between, and we know what the work that Iman has done and how they have been aligned. Well, I should say, Dr. Rami has publicly, in many spaces, talked about the importance of Imam's leadership. So I don't need to really go on about that. But this group has made contact with another organization, which is looking to provide financial infrastructure to interfaith groups. So these three individuals I talked about, they are heading the Muslim stream, right? The Muslim stream of the interfaith work, which is designed to remind people, well, let me stop here. It's designed to, let me get to the end of this. The end of it is this. There's going to be a declaration, a petition that's going to go around. We're trying to get 1 million signatures by, I think it's like by July or August, nationwide. And without reading the entire declaration to you, it is a rebuke, very much in the spirit and tone of Dr. King, of rebuking militarism, racism. What's the three evils? Militarism, racism, and anybody remember? No, it's not sexism. It's an ism. Might be capitalism, but I don't know.
Socialism.
We're gonna go with ignorantism. So, It is to talk about our collective responsibility. It's to talk about human dignity, right? And you really didn't hear a whole lot of people talk about human dignity. In my estimation, I think that's also one of the influences of Human Marketing Month, right? To really lift that up as a concern, as a major issue for anybody who considers themselves to be a faith leader or a person of conscience in the public space. If you're not talking about human dignity, you ain't talking about nothing. Poverty. So poverty, militarism, racism. Well, and the law says, right? He threatens you, the evil one threatens you with poverty. Is it taxes? Yeah. By that case, the IRS is the evil one. Threaten you with taxes. So our goal is a multi-pronged goal. It's a 10x program or solution, right? The idea is that nobody is too small or too big to be a part of this. Everybody that signs on takes a leadership responsibility, and that is to get 10 other people to sign on. And then those 10 people, they do the very same thing. And there are going to be some public demonstrations. One of them is going to be here. One of those is going to be here. Another is going to be in Jackson. I think Jackson, Mississippi. There's like 3 major ones, right? Based on some of the political discourse that's taking place in the nation right now. There are some spaces that are more susceptible to, right, just losing our civil liberties than others, right? So this is going to roll out. We'll be sharing more information about this, like within really this week and moving forward. Now we have a more direct conversation with Imam Omar about it. But the idea is not just to wait for those people who are at the mic to take responsibility. It is to say, I have this in my hand and I can take direct action. Right? We have 1 million signatures in a short period of time. That says something. That's weight. This is an interfaith campaign. And if the Muslims are able to show their, show our value, show our ability to actually mobilize people and get folks out, that's going to go a long way in terms of helping us to build some of the financial infrastructure that we need. And the last thing I want to mention, because as I pointed out, that Imam Macron and Masjid al-Nur al-Ma'un had some great successes. The point that I made at the very beginning about how what Imam Omar has shared with us was really in itself, it was absolutely sufficient, alhamdulillah, right? There are times where we make the mistake from an institutional perspective of thinking that we're just going to work it out ourselves. We're going to do what we have to do in our space, and we're not going to worry about what's going on nowhere else. Not that we're ignoring other people, but we unintentionally isolate ourselves. Us being here together today, those who are in person and those who are online, it is really an affirmation. It's an affirmation that no, we're not going to do that. We're going to take opportunities to come together. But how do we come together and actually move the needle even more so? Right? How do we increase our capacity? We increase our capacity by aligning ourselves with who have already shown success and who have sincerity, who sincerely want to help others replicate that success. Right? So there are some things that are coming, especially because we both, buy and talk about, we give food out, we give clothes out, we help folks, we give sadaqah, we do a variety of different things, right? We're about to start our first, short-term or transitional housing unit, right? We're doing things well-intended, but not at the scale that we could be, and not commensurate with the need that exists in our communities. And we can't actually get to that, to meet that scale, if we're thinking small. If we're just thinking about what's going on here, or just going on in Takwa, or even if we're just thinking about what we're able to do together with just the two of us, we got to think much more broadly. We have to, and so this effort that I mentioned to you, and the people that I mentioned, Ma'am Spear, Ma'am Makram, Dr. Rami, and I want to lean in, kind of going back to some conversations that I had with Imam Spear and Imam Makram in particular, that is developing an infrastructure within our association, some real connectivity from Vegas, Atlanta, Memphis, LA, across the country, developing real infrastructure and real connectivity and sharing ideas and resources and having a real plan, because we're all, just about all of us, are dealing with the same issues. But what this requires, as I prepare to close and see if there are any comments or questions, what this requires is a different form of a different view of the self, right? Which for me, I don't have any issue with this, right? Whatever light I have is whatever light I have. I don't have to worry about what position I'm in. And that's the same for all of you. What Allah has given you, Allah has given to you. So I'm not concerned with if I'm up to bat third or fourth or fifth. I'm on the team. That's the only thing that matters to me. I'm on the team. So whether you are the 15th person on the bench or whatever, if you win, everybody gets a ring. As a matter of fact, what I really love thinking about this, a sports analogy, the personal trainers get rings. The front office people get rings. The people who handle the calls, the schedulers, get rings. Everybody that's on the team, that's in the organization, gets a ring. They share in the success. It's only small minds who say, because I wasn't the one who got to give the message, I wasn't the one who got to talk, or I wasn't the one who, they recognized, or they didn't say this person's name. Some folks who take 100% of nothing over 1%. Right? So I think it's important for me, in whatever leadership capacity I have, is to model and to articulate this. Chicago, at one point, we were the center, right? We're the center now in a lot of folks, and that's not to say we're not doing important things, that we don't matter. We still matter. Believe that, we still matter. But the gravity has shifted. The gravity has shifted in a lot of ways. And it's up to us, not to say, well, it's just shifted, it's up to us to compete. Compete in collaboration. Compete in collaboration. Y'all got a school, right? How long have you had a school? Over 15 years. And how many students y'all got? 350 students in school. Master owns in school, right? You can leave now. They lease it out to the Unified School District. Constant, you got a constant income coming, right? Y'all own your building, right? If we go around the country and start pointing out what different communities have been able to do, and I don't want to shortchange us at all, right? Because I've had some wonderful conversations with my brother Imam Sulaiman Hamid from the Atlanta Masjid of Al-Islam. That community is 67 years old. 67 years old. Man, hold on. I mean, I know the answer. I was here, but how old is Baja?
1994.
No, it was before '94. It was
No,
90.
I'm talking about here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go ahead. Cause I was back for the '85.
Oh, I mean, if we go back to, Ashland, we talking about, 89, 80, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So, what's that, 30, 40 years ago?
34 years. But in this location,
This whole year since, 94, 94.
so that's 24 years. 32.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 94. Okay, yeah. 32 years. Okay. And we could do this going around the country. And everybody has different circumstances. Takwa is how old? Y'all was that big. No, Takwa's that old. Started at the arena, 45th. Then down to 8th and Ashland. But even if we consider back to 2000, maybe 99, 2000. What? On 45th? Since 2013. So 13 years. So I have 13 years. How many years? Really? I thought it was like 99. Yeah, that would put him at 90. Yeah, about 20, 21 years. So, okay. So 30 some odd years, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. I'm getting this lost here. My point being, we tell time in different ways. We can talk about origin, and we can also talk about permanence. The history of time for our community begins what? It begins with the migration. It didn't begin with the revelation. It began with movement and resettlement in Medina. Right? So there are a few different ways we can look at it. We can think about establishment as the first marker of how we're telling time. But however we're doing it, we have to give ourselves time to grow. That's the other thing. Sometimes we can look at, I've been doing this for a long time. You might not have been doing it right. You know, or we had some different challenges that we had to go that really that kept us from having the kind of establishment that we want. So I'm saying that we're at a point now where we have an opportunity to start establishing more connectivity, and doing it in a way where people are not putting ego at the forefront. And you will know those, I don't have to say anybody's name, you will know those who are putting their ego at the front by what they do. You'll know who's calling for others to join them on the stage and those who feel like they are the stage. So, and you make those own determinations. I don't have to tell you that. Just keep your eyes open. So, alhamdulillah, I'm going to close by simply reminding us that this idea of ascension for service. If we feel that we have value, and we're people who have always had a sense of, we pushed back against society that we were nothing, and had to be raised back up again to believe that we had something in us that was valuable and essential and vital for humanity, that we had that in us. And if we believe that, that means we have more to give than anybody else. We have the responsibility to give back more than anybody else. Right? Any comments? Can we please say? Who's that?
I just think about all of the changes and things that have happened as African Americans, and things are going good, and you get these infiltrators that work from the inside. How can we ever overcome that part? You know, if you see somebody, the biggest preacher, the biggest donator, the biggest this and that, and they employed by the FBI.
I think leadership is known, just like a tree, right? Is known by the fruit that it bears. Authentic leadership is always going to be focused on succession. It's going to be focused on empowering others, on replicating themselves, but replicating the potential to serve. Right? Giving people that space. The big heads, the ones that's on the payroll that you're talking about, those are the people that you will see that everything is tight. Everything revolves around them. And it's our responsibility to recognize those people. And those are the ones who will come to you, in private. And they will invite you to sedition. They're the ones, so-and-so, good. These are the backbiters. Right? These are the backbiters. And this is where the leadership responsibility of every individual becomes apparent. And that is, hey, not here. You can't bring that over here. And if they persist, it's like you stand up in class. This one over here, they on the payroll, they on something else. They're not really with us. We have to have a zero tolerance policy with those people who come in and they want to sow division. You get one warning, and if you keep it up, we'll out you. We'll out you. All right. That's all I got. You know, Omar.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier about the interfaith group that meets and stuff like. What a little bit more on that you was talking about.
So the idea is faith over fear, right? This is related to, in part, ISIS, the presence of ICE. I don't like to say ISIS, because right, in plural, the presence of ICE on our city streets, and how they've been used as a disruptive force in many communities. Right, they basically, what I understand, wiped out Pilsen. Right, it's not what it used to look like. They're just hanging out over there. So the abuse of civil liberties, the white supremacy, the racism, right? The way they use that. So ICE was a big part of that, right? The presence of ICE. This environment, this atmosphere of fear, right? This trepidation that people had about just being able to walk and being out. And then they started coming after, like at one point, Black folk, thought you were safe. No, you ain't safe. Right? They'll get you too. And then it became an issue for us. So this idea of combating this fear, and doing so in a public way, that was one of the main things, right? So I think that portion is sufficient, and to talk about how faith communities have a responsibility to respond to the needs of this time, and to say, yeah.
So is this Muslim Christians coming together? Is that what this
is? It is interfaith, absolutely. Yeah, it is an interfaith, and then within that, just think of how you have. I'm trying to think how bodies of water, rivers deposit into ocean, right? Is that the way it works? Something like that, or lakes. Yeah, right. But the language that we use in this is streams, right? You have your Christian stream, you might have your Baha'i stream, you got your Muslim stream, right? How do we all pour into the same body of water, right? Matter of fact, we're all fed by the same body of water, and then go back into the same body of water. So the Muslim stream, I mentioned those three individuals, and even within that stream, there are like smaller tributaries, right? So there's work that'll be done directly with us, like between Imam Makram and Zafir and our association, right? But it all has the same aim in mind, same goal in mind, which is to organize us, which is to make us feel more emboldened, more secure, and supported through our faith, but to give us specific items that we need to start focusing on, like that declaration is one of them, getting those signatures, getting some connectivity, start building our capacity to use whatever funding is out there, but not just the funding, but also to start really tapping into our own entrepreneurial capacity, right? But doing it from a collective standpoint, not just locally, but thinking about all these things nationally. So it's some layers to it, but I hope that is wet your whistle a little bit. Yeah, but we're gonna have some more conversation. Yeah, starting point. Well, I appreciate. Oh, you know what? I'm going to be doing a whole series on analyzing audiences and signs that they give you that they're ready to go. Right? So the first sign is this one right here, right? Like this. And then the other one is when you see somebody like they're ready for the doo-wop before you start, their hands come up. They're telling you, let's get it, let's get it. And of course the adjustment. So enough said. This is what we call conversational terrorism. What was the other? Oh yeah. They call it a timeout. Follow the play, coach. Wrap it up. All right. Yes.
Before you close out.
I see.
A few announcements I want to make, and I'm pretty sure y'all got some announcements too.
Yeah. So you want to officially close out and then just make the announcements afterwards?
Okay.
Is that okay, everybody? Or do y'all want to do that? Okay, we'll close. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal asr. Inna al-insana lafi khusr. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawassaw bil haqqi wa tawassaw bis sabr. Okay, thank y'all. Nobody fell asleep, which is good. We don't know about our Zoom group. Wake up, it's over. Yes.
We woke. Assalamualaikum, everyone.
Walaikum assalam, sis. We woke.
All right, good to hear you.
Good to be heard.
Yeah, right now, we're still in development. Once we're ready to start, making placements, the announcement will work out. Yeah. Inshallah, keep us in your dua. We got a lot of work to do. Yeah. Why don't you, Imam Omar, you got some announcements. Once you make your announcements, and then I'll.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. Do we have any other announcements?
Can I make an announcement?
Oh, September 4th.
Can I make an announcement?
Yes.
I'll go out.
Okay. I do want to make an announcement September 4th at, what is the park? Imam W. Muhammad Day. Robert B. Donaldson Park in Hazel Crest. We'll be having Imam W. Muhammad Day. As a matter of fact, it will be a weekend. We'll have activities at Taqwa on Saturday and Sunday as well. So we're making a whole weekend out of it. Our brother Rod Bashir, in his capacity as trustee, was able to have recognition of Imam Wafi Muhammad done. It's on the books. So we were able to take advantage of it last year, and we're intending to continue doing so. Well into the future, and hopefully because I think we're the first city or first locale to have that on the books, if I'm not mistaken. So that's something that we want to see other folks do as well.
4th and 5th or 3rd and 4th? You said 2 days.
No, that whole weekend. So yeah, starting on the 4th, yeah, at the park, and then the 5th and 6th activities. We have programming at Restaurant Taco, September. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Like,
My friend and I, we started a traveling spa. So yesterday we were doing hand and foot massages, but today I'm only able to do, I have a paraffin like dip it's really good for arthritis, really good for dry skin. And so if you want to come over after,
Okay.
sorry.
No, no.
But this, cause my friend couldn't come today because, she's working, but I'm gonna give it a little bit of reflexology to anyone that's interested.
All right. Reflexology. You can't get it virtually. That's all right.
Assalamualaikum, Imam Tariq.
Like my slums stage.
Can you ask Brother Rod to send the flyer around in reference to the WD Muhammad Day so we can send that out again, please, sir? Imam, Dr. Tariq El-Amin.
He's Brother Rod is not here.
Okay.
If he's online, hopefully he can respond to that.
If not, I thought he was there. I'll get in touch with him. Thank you so much.
Is it simplified? Oh, you already got it? Oh, it's in the newsletter. Okay, all right. Go ahead, my
I
son.
would like to volunteer with the petition of signing the people.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll get your information, okay? Yes, anybody who is interested in signing up for the petition, please do. Matter of fact, we'll be sending it out on our newsletter, our text list. I'll send it to you as well, Imam. And yeah, you wanna? Yeah.
All right. Top there. Top there. Top there.
Thank you, Imam Tariq. I'm not gonna hold you, I just wanna, a few announcements. You know, we have, Eid el-Ahad is gonna be coming up, around the 27th or close to. And we do need everybody's help, to make our Eid a success. Yes, ma'am. May, thank you. Yes, 27th of May. What we have been trying to do is elevate the level of status of our Eid celebrations for our children, for our community, for ourselves. And in doing so, you know, there is a cost that goes with it. We are trying to make sure, a brother called me and he told me that he was looking at the faces of the children, how they was just so lit up from the toys and different things that they got for the Eid celebration. I said, well, that's what we want to do. You know, we can't have them look at Christmas as more of a value to them than our own Eid celebration for our children. You know, so we decided to elevate you know, not going to get dollar store toys and, you know, different things like that, you know. And, you know, one thing about our children, and I say our children, because I got children, I already know I can speak for them. They don't know how to take care of them toys. But we do get them toys because we want to show appreciation for them. And this is twice a year that we do this. What we get in Sautica for our Eid really does not cover what we invest in our Eid. But it's our Eid, you know, and we have to want to invest in it and want to make it prosperous, beautiful, nice, enjoyable, you know, and not something to do and, you know, let's get it over with. Right. You know, the people that has let's get it over with are the ones that's always doing the most work without the help. And they have a right to feel that way because it becomes a burden. You know, am I right? You do the work all the time, you don't have help to do it. You know, when it comes down to washing the dishes and cleaning the kitchen up, everybody, the people know how to get out of here before it works out. It's like if the Eid is gonna be over at 3 o'clock, let's get out of here by 1:30 because we know we're gonna have to break down and help them do some work. That's some of the mindset. This exists. I'm not just saying something that don't exist. You know, I hang around to do the work from beginning to end. And that's all of us should have that mentality. And I'm not talking about our pioneers who have been doing this. And you know, I'm talking about those that are still able to do this, to step up and make our celebrations a success. So I'm not going to harp on it, but I'm bringing it out there, and I'm not going to say anything else about that. But it is coming up on the 27th, and it is our turn at the Baja Center to host the celebration. It's a lot of work without very few people that we have to give help. You know. Well, we really work the day before to get set up. That evening, the day before, we work to get set up. So we don't know what day it's gonna. We saying 27th, but we still have to wait. Attentive, right? We still have to wait. So whatever day it is, we come the day before, and we start setting up. I mean, but prior to that, we already. Right now, we are already working on the menu. We're working on the food and stuff like that, so we can make sure that all that's in place. But where it won't be a hardship, because I think Baja Center provide the meats and stuff like that. I think that's what Sister Karen said. So we try to get the caterers and all of that stuff in place, so we'll have everything ready by then. You know. Yes. What you were saying? Y'all buy the meat? Oh, okay. I thought you were saying y'all. Okay, I just want to make sure. Yes, yes. You know, but and we have no problem with the food because I'm gonna tell you, we have enough food. We do have enough food, and it's always something that you can take away. You know. Also, somebody brought to our attention that there need to be classes on how to do the salat. So we are going to be having classes. We're putting together the class as of right now. It's going to be announced pretty soon. It's going to be a refresher for those of you who already know, and it's going to be a class for beginning. If you're a new Muslim to the community and you don't know how to do the salat, we won't be teaching you the Arabic because that's a class within itself, and that would take more time to teach. But we are going to go through from Nia, from intentions, all the way from the wudu, all the way from the salat, all the way from lining up for prayer. How do we line up for prayer? What it is when you walk in and you only see one person or two people. How do I line up? Walk in, I see two people. How do I line up? you know, for prayer, because a lot of us don't know that, you know. I have brothers where it's two people making a salat, and they'll come, it's me and another brother standing next to them, and they come and stand next to that brother. Now, you don't see that in any way. They don't know that they should tap the brother on the shoulder. He's supposed to step back and they start to roll, you know? So in this class, we're going to give the refresher, and we also going to give, for new believers, that information. And it's gonna be to be announced very soon. We're putting, like I say, we're going off of, oh, I'm sorry. And we're also giving definition and understanding to what it means to do all the things we do. We're going through rituals and we don't even understand what it means. You know, let me ask you, anybody, what does it mean when you wash your hands? I'm just asking. What does it mean when you're washing your hands? What is your hands a symbol of? Your deeds. Your deeds. Your hands are symbolic of your deeds. You do things with your hands, right? Give things, you work things, right? Your hands are charity. You know, your hands are a symbol of your deeds, right? So you're washing your deeds. You're washing your deeds 3 times on 3 different levels. Everything we do in our salat, it has a symbolic meaning. If we're doing it and we don't know what the meaning is, we're just going through the motion, and it does not connect through our consciousness where it interacts in our life. That's what we have to do. Yes. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alhamdulillah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alhamdulillah. So inshallah, we're gonna be having that. We also, people have been asking me about our Zelle. Our Zelle is up, and they saying when they go to the Zelle, they see Masjid Mukminun. That's okay, because in our bank, the name has not been changed on our bank. So when you go to Zelle and you see and you type in our telephone number, 773-476-8825 to donate Zelle, and you see Master Mukminun come in, that's okay. You can still donate to that. And we haven't changed the name on the bank account because there was no problem in it so far. And I don't think it's still a problem right now, you know, with that. But inshallah, when the Shura decides that that's what we want to go with, Ikram Bahar Islamic Center, then we'll be, you know, changing the name on a lot of different things. Yes. So the Zelle is up and running now. Our Cash App is up and running. EBCC25 is our Cash App. You already know from the website. Thank you very much for everybody who helped us out here. And we're a non-for-profit organization. We rely on support donations, even though our donations should come from businesses and not from so much that we're looking for people who are as poor as we are, you know, but we have to reach out, you know, and we're thankful for those other organizations that we have that give support to the efforts that we're doing. We don't have our halal chicken sausage as of yet. And it's kind of frustrating because we paid this brother $14,000, and it's been almost 3 months. And that's a shame. It's a shame, you know, for us to have to wait as long as we've been waiting, you know, to get this product. And every time it's always one excuse after another. But the big guys, they get their product, but the little guys who've been supporting you all of this time from day one, for all of these years, we get treated like this, you know? So I'm putting it out there in public. I don't, if he see it, alhamdulillah, because I'm upset. I'm upset, you know, from this here, you know?
Assalamu alaikum, Imam Omar.
Alaikum salam.
Can we talk about that offline and you give me the information so I can reach out to the brother, please, you know, on our behalf, because it's not fair to our community.
And we, you know, because it's business,
Mhm.
we doing it, but you know, you don't have to reach out to them. We got
Well, you put
people.
it out there in the open, so somebody's gonna say
Yeah,
something
but I
about it,
put it
so,
out to let you all know what the
okay.
status is of our situation. Yeah, but we got people that's already in connection, that's already on it, you know, and we keep getting the same thing. So we got another week. I'm gonna see what happened next week, you know, inshallah, you know. Yes.
I wanna go back and ask whether or not, with the E, has the cat, been, amount been determined that you can share?
Well, you know, I'm gonna tell you, we've been at $20 for how many years? I don't think we even increased it even with the cost of living. You know, everybody gets cost of living increase. We haven't did any, increase. Uh, yeah, $20 per person. Yeah. You know. No, we haven't, really put, that's on the family, yes. Also, yesterday, we had National Library Day that was throughout the city of Chicago. And so we had it here also. The Sisters Arifa did an excellent job in organizing it, and I can't say enough for it. I just wish it was attended a little bit more than what it was attended. But we do have books, those books that you see on the counter over there, those books are for sale for $10. And those pamphlets, the smaller books that you see laying over there, they're free. If anybody want to grab the books, you can just grab the books and whatnot. And I want to put a plug in for myself. I have a product, a beauty aid product that I do, and it's called Creamy Shea Butter. I'm gonna tell you something. This here is one of the best products I believe that's out there right now. It has emu oil, black seed oil, olive oil, and shea butter. And I'm gonna tell you, it is so creamy smooth. When you get out the shower and put that on your feet and your legs and your beard and your hair, it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. And I have some of it over here that's the for sale, produced by myself. It's $4 for the small jar and $15 for the big jar, of shea butter. And it lasts. I think one sister told me that brother Abu Becker called me Saturday. He said, brother want to know if he can get a case. I said, I ain't got a case. I said, I'm just making the jars at a time. I'm just starting this business off. He said, well, what's the best price you can give me? I said, oh, retail. I said, I don't have a wholesale price, but we growing. It's going to grow, inshallah, down the line. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
So I'm glad you mentioned it, because I don't want to be not getting.
Alhamdulillah. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You can support a brother directly. You all know I made you. If you straight, thank you.
Yes.
If you have not already subscribed to me on YouTube or Spotify or Amazon, wherever it is, please do so. When you listen, those numbers, right? I see those. Right.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay. Well, I guess I think I've been doing pretty good with them numbers every day at work.
Thank you very much.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you how good it is. I had non-Muslims come into the room where I was working at, and they listened to the music. They said, who is that? I said, man, that is really nice. I said, yeah. I said, that's a friend of mine. He said, a friend of you? I said, yeah. He produces this music. He said, what station is it? I said, Conscious Music, Conscious Connection on Pandora. He looked it up and he saved it to his wow. Yeah, playlist. Then somebody else came in and they listened to the music and it was like, man, you be listening to some good stuff. You know, and he said, who is that? I said, Tariq Elamine. He said, Tariq Elamine, I never heard him. I said, up and coming star, you know. So I wrote a post, you know, letting people know about his music, you know. Then I said in my post, I said, yeah, he got an AI star. He said he got to give him a name, and he said he got to figure out a way how he can do the concert.
We're working on that. Putting together a live ensemble.
Yeah, right. Yes. So inshallah, you know, alhamdulillah. Oh, let me just say this. Right before we get ready to close out. Don't forget your Muslim journal, dear believers. And also, I was sick and shut in. Let's make a dua for those people that we know that are going through situation. Listen, Imam Sultan Salahuddin has been a person who has made a lot of sacrifices. He made big sacrifices, and it's the person who actually helped to establish this community. All right, but he's going through health issues, dementia. You know, it hurts me to talk about the person who I used to know, the person who I've seen. But I'm asking you, if you have a number, give his family a call. You know, let them know that you haven't just forgotten about them. Anything, you know, reach out. Sister Minnie Abdullah, Sister Shirley Hafiz, Sister Bahira, Sister Amatullah, Sister Latifa Rob, Sister Claudia Bilal, Sister Fanetta Rahman, Sister Salima Mahdi, Brother Kareem Muhammad, Sister Kezi Avery, Rashida Muhammad, Samuel Bilal, Jamal Shahid, Raji Abdullah, Brother Abdul Alim Sharif, you know, just to name a few, and there's many, many more that are going through different struggles and are sick and shut in. If you can, give these believers a call, you know, or go by and see if you can give them a hand and help. You know, a lot of people think that we're like pastors, that we're supposed to do everything. No, this is a community effort. Yes, ma'am. And Panetta Ramadan. Yes, thank you very much. We're gonna bring up our brother Imam Rashdan. Yes, sir. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, brother Imam. I remember your face. Yes, sir.
I want y'all to act like y'all just sat there. You just got here. All right.
Have an engagement in Gary, Indiana. I was the imam out there for about 3 years, from 2005 to 2008. I was the imam. I moved there to Los Angeles, California, to be a part of Imam Muhammad's class from 2005 to 2008 to be returned to Allah. But I just want to kind of pick up on what Imam Omar Muhammad said now. Dr. Tariq Ali was saying how, you know, Imam Muhammad, he really guided us to where we are today, to seek higher education. And so he told us to seek higher education, to go into these institutions, to have an impact on our community and to set examples for those who come behind us, not just Muslims, but non-Muslims only, non-Muslims too, particularly African American men who don't have in their communities examples of men who are educated. They need examples. They need guidance, and they need leadership. So, you know, this is the time where we we're just beginning to have doctors in our community as imams who are seen by the public. Now, people who are not only preachers, but men who have the skills and the ability to go into these institutions to give guidance and to give knowledge. You didn't have that before. Not that you weren't qualified, but the opportunities weren't open for you. Coming out of the Nation of Islam, so I don't want to say my generation, but I'm a little older, but I fit in this class. So this is the generation now where we want to really give all that we have to seek to pursue higher education, so that we not only are we go into these institutions as preachers, but we go into these institutions as professionals who are recognized by those who recognize those levels on our neighbors. We don't need education in terms of providing guidance, but they're useful. They're useful tools, and they're recognized by non-Muslim people. So when we have them, don't think that we're going and representing ourselves, but we're going representing you. We're going representing you. We are a part of you, and you are a part of us. And we're not leaving you behind. This is our community. This is Imam W.D. Muhammad's community. He gave us the direction, and we're just following the guidance. So that's my talk.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
My wife, she's my companion, and she's been very helpful. She came to see Latifah and Tarzan. She's not here, but we'll be the next time. So inshallah. So thank you.
Congratulations, brother.
Oh, well,
Yes,
thank you, Thais.
Imam, doctor.
Thank you so much.
Alhamdulillah.
Oh, please do support the vendors. We are done. Support our vendors. Thank you all for your attention, your contribution.
Alaikum salam.
Alaikum assalam.
Also, assalamu alaikum. I have some photos over there of inside the box. If y'all want to see some historic things that we have done as groups and situations here at the Bahar Center on the table, you can go through the box. Please don't take the photos, but you're welcome to go through them and take a look at them.
Where's your product, sir?
Where's
your product, sir?
Right there, right over behind the counter there, in the yellow.
You take cash sale?
You know what?
Or you have cash?
I do have Cash App, but when you said it, I'm trying to think of what my Cash App was. I haven't used it in so long.
I apologize, brother. For making an announcement like that.
No, I was gonna see you. I was gonna be one of your customers.
Oh.
Can you pull it?
I'm trying to pull it up now.
I know she got it.
Me. Right here. I'm getting ready to pay him. Small and large. Small and large.
Okay, Cash App. Hold on.
Oh, no, it's not right.
Go back.
No, this is the Baja Center cash.
Oh.
I was trying to sign out.
Oh, I think.
Okay. Oh, okay, I got it. It's a dollar sign. It's a dollar sign, Omar, OMAR, 2N. Oh,
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
MAR.
Yeah, we want to check.
Yeah. Oh, you can leave them. Yeah. Hey, alaikum salam. Oh, okay. Mhm. Oh, okay. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Now, what you do is that you're welcome to bring it, and if you want to try to sell it or whatever you do.
What I was gonna do is I was gonna make like maybe a sample thing
Mhm.
that it could be here if somebody could.
But I'd rather for you to be like Sister Isa too, and the other sisters, you know, when they come, you can set up a little table of yourself, whatever. If you want to then, because then there's no charge, but if Allah bless you to make the money, then make a donation.
And then I do want to volunteer for the streets.
For the six, okay, that's a damn time. Yeah,
Let me know.
okay, yes, ma'am, thank you. Yes, yes. Well, I got yes. Oh, yeah.
I think, because I have it, No.
Well, I ain't trying trying to figure something I got.
Okay. And I think from my mom. I never. Okay. No. Let's talk about. Oh, fine. I got out work yesterday around 2 in the afternoon. I could have done something after the meeting. She said they were leaving last night, so. The address is 2525 West 71st Street. 71st. It's no problem.
You understand,
Oh, yeah. We're gonna take a lot. Yeah, right, right. Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, yeah. So we want to be. It's all our days.
You remember her?
Yeah, but the first Caucasian people to come up to the community. I can remember her name.
Oh.
I just, I remember her. I can't remember her name. But I remember her. Was all we were running. Yeah.
I think that's. What she did. Yes. Yes. Yeah, yeah. You went to my second, is like that. Sometimes, all the time, we need to meet. You can't go wrong with that. And she said they have. Okay. And that's not really. I think Terry. No, I mean, it's like. Yeah. And then when you get flight. We were flying. Get there. Yeah, we did. Okay, so I'm gonna thank you. No, and you give it.
But we got the doctor.
That's why. Hot wash. They have such. big problem.
We'll put that. Hit the road, and be safe going, okay? Don't hit it too hard.
Yeah, all right. You right? I got one. Okay. No.
Are you fine?
You just think you got it. What was in the microwave? Almost 2.5 years. You know. Did you say 3?
Yeah.
I think something in the back pocket. Good seeing you. All right, man, I hope everything work out. Yes, sir. We got the baby.
Okay, I got it. Say like right here. Now this been sitting here.
If it moves, they walk up on you.
No, I need to go get something. I need to eat and get back on the road.
Take care of yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
Good seeing you, man.
Take Christmas. saw it before. No, I did not. Got to read
Assalamualaikum.
Everything.
But I have to go. I'm not, I don't be winning.
All right, dear